hoes. God bless these haters, cause God don't leave no sad. All I do is get it. 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 All I
See, why does he do this? Oh my God. Hi, everybody. I don't know what to do with myself. Emmanuel.
Hey, boo.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to the comment section. We had no notice. Our engineer is really shady. He just throws us on live without any kind of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But thank you so much for joining us. We are back.
He says y'all are pros, so you can handle any spur of the moment.
I cannot. We're back from hiatus, you guys. So thank you so much for joining us. I am Shirley Ann Phillips III, and
I am Emmanuel Anzules, aka Fox Baldwin in the fall.
Fox Baldwin, right? I feel kind of bad because we promised everybody that we were going to be back in the studio for our first show for this season. And we were going to be in the studio, but our guest, who I made the decision last minute, I'm like, I have to have my boo on for Domestic Violence Month. Our guest is Miss Katrina Calhoun of Sisters Against Domestic Abuse, Sada's House for short. And I could not let October pass without her coming on the show and telling us about what she does and why she does it. Especially now, we're coming off we're still in the middle of it. I can't even say we're coming off of it, but this quarantine has really, I guess, put the light on how severe domestic violence is in not only New York State, but just around the world. I'm not even gonna say the country, around the world, it's an issue. I'm so happy that instead of just breast cancer awareness, we now see people with their purple for domestic violence awareness in the month of October. So she's gonna come and talk to us in a little bit, but I'm trying to catch up with Fox Baldwin. I need to know what's been going on all summer, beloved.
Right.
Not like I don't know.
Doesn't it feel like time is just kind of like flying by? Because I feel that I don't remember what summer was. It almost feels like I blinked and it was already the fall.
It's the fall.
It's the fall. We're back. Shirley and I are back at work now. And it feels like we are at war with all these variables, right, Shirley? It's insane how much of a battle it seems. It's usually, teaching is hard. We know this. People, I guess, can imagine how difficult it is for us as teachers, but the cards that we're dealing with, totally unprecedented, right? Like never have to deal with any, it feels like a pressure cooker, honestly.
It is a pressure cooker. It's a pressure cooker with a lot of like smelly children that like can't read and write. I teach 8th grade, so their bodies are changing.
Yep.
Pressure cooker filled with armpits and
hormones.
It is
and sweat.
But I'm getting a little annoyed though with the city of New York because I just feel like
you got to talk to your girl.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one. Okay, I'm gonna plead the fifth. But I am going to have a conversation with her because at this point, I just feel like it's like F your life. You know what I mean? Like our school literally has no water fountains because they have like an asbestos issue. So the kids have to either bring their own beverages or beg, like the counselors, the principal for water. And to me, it's a human rights issue at this point.
It's inhumane. The fact that they brought us back in the middle of a pandemic, right? Like if you think about all these variants and you think about the space issue that we struggle with in New York City, I'm sure other major cities feel it too. The decisions that were made seem to violate every basic human right that we should not be violating, especially in working with children.
Mm-hmm. I
right?
agree.
Black and white children, who do they go home to? They go home to perhaps elderly, family members. You don't know what they're bringing back to them, and it's almost like a disregard for our communities in this case. I don't know if it's because they wanted to open the city back up and get us to run business as usual, but we're not in any normal situation or year.
We're babysitters. And that's why
we're glorified babysitters.
And if they honestly made everybody remote or even gave everybody the option to be remote, the city would crash and burn because people have to go to work and they don't have anyone to take care of their children. That's why we've been forced back into the building. We've had like three classes that had to be shut down. It's only October, but they were forced to remote because they had a COVID case. They each had a COVID case. So I think they stay for, is it 14 days, 10 days, 14 days? They go remote and then they're right back in the building. But I'm like, what about all the other students and the other adults in the building that were exposed to and those children?
Oh, they don't care about them. There's actually this new, I don't know if you know about this already, there's a new mandate that pretty much says that even if the child has been exposed, there is no need to let anybody that's been around them really know who or when they were possibly exposed.
I can't.
So like the only people that have to quarantine are those who are positive. But then the people that were around them aren't even notified because think about what that would do. It would shut down everything.
Everything was shut down.
I mean, if like it's something that we're dealing with, it's a crisis at our school that every day there's somebody absent. And not just one person, it's at least 10 people are calling out every day for a multitude of reasons.
A lot of teachers, I hope my principal isn't watching this, but there are a lot of teachers that are just fed up. Like they're burnt out, they're suffering from anxiety. And a lot of it they're just like, I'm just not going. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just like, I'm not going because I feel like I'm being used and abused and I'm, using up my sick days because technically I'm sick. I'm mentally sick.
What is the union doing about that, Shirley? Because I work for a charter school, so we don't have a union.
We don't like you are. I have one. Our union sucks.
You are at will, sis. Like you are on your own.
I'm an at will employee.
We don't even. You know how like the DOE gives, like you guys have like 10 sick days a year, and you accumulate them, right? So you could potentially have hundreds of sick days that you've never used. We don't have rollover sick days. We get 8 a year.
Okay, well, I literally just found out yesterday from a little birdie that once you get to 200 days that you've accumulated, they start taking them back. Okay, and they take it without like warning. So I think it was one of the deans, I think, that told my friend, excuse me, these are my days. What are you doing? How you gonna tell me that I can't accumulate all my days? So I think right now
that is bizarre.
I think I have like 55 or 56 days. So it's like you have to use them because if you don't use them, you'll literally lose them. Like once you retire, they don't let you get that. So you have to take them while you can. So
oh my God. It just shows you that there is no care given to teachers as professionals.
At all.
They don't care about us. It's sad to say because I didn't get into it thinking that it would be that way. And even when I realized that they didn't really care about their teachers, especially in New York, I still felt hopeful that it was not the case. I thought it like I was maybe
under
like,
the illusion.
I was like, you know what? It's not that. It's something else. Like, I always try to justify the way they treat us, and then you wonder why there's such like every year we lose hundreds of teachers, thousands even, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thousands. And this year it's not just teachers, it's like across various industries. They're calling it the mass
exodus.
Yeah, it's definitely a mass exodus. They're calling it the great
migration.
The Great Depression. I mean, people are depressed, but it's not the Great Depression. It's like the Great Resignation.
The Great Resignation.
Because everybody got up and quit their jobs. I mean,
they quit
with all, like, they have reasons to do so. Like, I don't blame people that.
I think the staying at home, a lot of people had time to reflect, and they saw how wonderful it was to like work from your couch or not work at all.
Oh my God.
You getting stimulus checks in the mail and direct deposit. You getting extra EBT, and they're like, "What? Go to work for what?" And I'm kind of not mad at it because, especially
you can't be.
We needed this. I think a lot of people needed this kick to try to like step their game up and start following some of their passions and become the entrepreneurial, I think. But at the same time, the world is like shutting down. Like there are no people at work, like at the grocery store, at CVS, at the restaurant.
Have you been to Target? Girl, have you been to a Target? It looks like they shouldn't even have shelves because all of their products are on the floor.
Not Target, in Jersey?
In the Bronx. And in Jersey, actually. All their stuff is on the, they don't have, like, you walk in, it used to be all about customer service and optics, right? Like you walk into the store, everything was neatly placed.
Target,
like that was their business strategy. But now shelves on the floor, products, boxes everywhere.
That makes me sad. I try to stay out of Target because that was like one of my spending, what do you call it? I'm on a budget. My boyfriend put me on a
You can't go to Target.
I'm not allowed to go to Target, beloved. So, but Target used to be kind of like bougie, you know what I mean? Like,
it used to like Target, right? Target. It's not Target. It's not Target anymore.
Are you serious?
The 99-cent store.
I hate you. You know what? I can't, and I won't do this with you. Not Target.
Yep.
I don't know. Charles, where are we at with time? Because I can't hear or see anything here. What's going on? Where are we at? We good?
Charles, you sound like God is talking to us. Doesn't he sound like God?
Does.
Like the voice of God, because people can't see him, but he's definitely there watching.
I can't. What do they call it? The fourth wall? He's breaking the fourth wall.
He's breaking it for sure.
What was I about to tell you? I was about to say something monumental. Jesus, I can't remember. This is what happens when you're 45, by the way. This is what you have to look forward to. I do know that both of us have some really major things going on, but the sad part is we're not allowed to talk about it. So just know, audience, that we were busy all summer. We, had some shenanigans going on, but we were actually doing some really productive things. 2022 should be pretty eventful, to say the least.
I know. Oh my God. I really I want 2022 to be the year where everybody is able to just go back and lead successful, healthy, wonderful lives without the worry of a pandemic. I really hope it is done and over with in the next few months. But that's wishful thinking, because I don't see this ending.
I feel like Jesus is on his way, but that's another conversation. But
oh my gosh, Shirley, don't scare me.
No, that'll be a good thing. Listen, we're ready, boo.
What?
We're ready. We're tired.
Girl, I don't know if I'm ready to go to heaven yet.
You're not ready yet?
I'm not ready yet. I don't even know what to bring.
You're gonna be niggas. My dean was like, I wonder if heaven got a ghetto. I said, you know what? Tupac, that was a Tupac song. He was like, once I go to heaven, I want to be in the ghetto. I'm like, you know what? I can't with you, and I won't.
Right.
I won't do this. But you did. Shut up, Charles. You developed the vaping CBD whatever habit, right? So habit,
unfortunately,
I've developed a dum lollipop habit. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. Because they're really small, and you can have 2, and 2 are only 13 grams of carbs. Okay, and like 7 grams of sugar. So I have 4 a day, and this is my sugar for the day. But they're so good. But the problem is, you want more than 4 though. So it's like
once you pop, you can't stop, right? Like Pringles.
I hate you.
They tell you can only have 7, but who reads the back of that?
So I'm trying to lose weight.
I can never just have 7.
You have to, boo. You have to, because it adds up if you don't. It adds up. Don't ask me how I know, but these little suckers add up if you don't monitor them. But I know what I wanted to tell you. I, as of yesterday, have lost 40 pounds with my 40.
Shirley, can you write a book? The Dum Dum Diet? Please.
I hate you. It's more than just that. I work my ass off, but I'm telling you, there's something with these, because it's like it satiates you. You know what I mean? So
it cures your body of any desire for sugar. Because that's what most people have, right? And then you eat a whole meal, or you'll stop at Dunkin' Donuts or get some ice cream, and you choose the bad. You make it you build bad habits
You build
to
that
like
up.
satiate you, right? Satiate your need for sugar.
That's it.
Oh, Shirley,
The
you're
Dum
onto
Dum diet.
something.
Let me find out. This might be our ticket out the ghetto, boo.
Imagine it already exists. Oh my God, I'll be down.
I'll put it on OnlyFans.
Yes.
Listen, I'm tired of doing stuff for free. Everything has a price tag on it.
Oh
right?
my God. Yes, everything.
Katrina,
We stopped working for free in 1865, okay?
1865, boo. Slavery ended. Okay. Emancipation Proclamation. Katrina is a Virgo, so she'll be on shortly. But she's a Virgo, and you know how Virgos are. They're like Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was literally a Virgo. Okay. Literally. They help everyone. They do. They give. They give. They give. And it's like when they need something, it's like nobody's there.
Oh God,
So
the worst.
I'm telling her, and I think she's feeling now, especially she recently lost her mom. You know what I mean? So it's like the word is no. The operative word right now is no. People have to do for themselves, or if you're gonna get something from me, it's gonna have to have a price tag attached to it. I'm sorry, because I can't do anymore.
Everything. And if you need my prices for anything you can imagine, you need to go on my website.
That's it.
Because it'll give you a general. There's a database that you can access on my website that will tell you what things cost. You need me to take these copies down the hall? It's $50.
$50 an hour, beloved. I can't. People will waste their time. And I told my boyfriend this. I'm like, you can play with me if you want to.
Shirley, you got a boyfriend?
I do.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, shut up. You know what? I can't wait. I was about to say, stop acting, Brando. But I'm saying, if you add up all the people that I've dated, okay, including my psycho ex-fiance that I spent, what was that, 7 years of my life?
Oh my gosh, Shirley.
I can't get this time back.
No.
I'm going to start charging people deposits. Okay. So if God forbid this relationship.
Security deposit.
I need a security deposit for my next relationship. I can't.
Oof, that is, wow. That's your second book. Security deposit on life.
It has a price because
on my existence.
People are dying. I don't know if you got the memo. People are leaving.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any more time to waste. And that's that. Charles, what we got on time for a commercial break? I can't see her. One more minute. All right. So as I
Sorry,
said,
let's talk about Trina, because I'm dying to talk to her.
She's I'm gonna try to be as objective as I can, because this is like Katrina is one of my favorite people in the whole, like my top 5 favorite people on earth.
No, she's dope.
My bestie, she's hilarious. A lot of like my mannerisms and stuff I got from being around her. Like you'll see the similarities. Like she's hilarious, but she's also a G. Like just if you want to talk about someone who's a self-starter and who doesn't depend on anybody for anything, who's, you know, turned lemons into lemonade, that would be her. She's very inspirational. She has an amazing story. I mean, it literally reads like a Lifetime movie, seriously. But she's dope, and I'm happy to have her here. That's why I said I had to put her on in October. We resituated some things to get her on here, and that's why we're not in the studio. But we will be back in the studio for our next show, so stay tuned. But she's in Michigan. She's not in New York. She's in Detroit. What up, Jeff?
Cast Tech.
Oh, Cast Tech in the house. I'm so sorry. Cast Tech is like running things right now. We got Kenya on Dancing with the Stars. Okay. We got the Katrinas of the world. We got David Allen Greer just won his first. And listen, Cast Tech is running things right now. So I'm very proud of my city, very proud of my school. But that's pretty much it. I'll let her tell you more when we come back from commercial break, but stay tuned for more on the comment section. Be right back.
In a struggle for total domination, the scales can be tipped by one man who has the courage to confront his fate and make a choice that will decide the fate of the world.
Guys put a lot of smoke in today. Wow. But anyway, we expecting a real superhero? I don't think so. The real life superheroes are the ones that are helping out in their community today. And the LDM show will be there to bring you the events and stories to life. Do you know a real superhero? Let us know. But for now, follow us on Instagram and Twitter and like us on Facebook. Also visit our websites for photos, videos, and updates. But until the meantime, hey, I gotta be out of here.
Oh my God, there's that girl.
Where?
Hello, right there.
That's inside.
Oh, that girl. She thinks she's all that.
I've heard some stuff all around. I mean, just look at her.
Drown your face in the cry.
Doesn't she know nobody wants her here?
Her own mother wants her.
She should just stay home or die with her.
Even her boyfriend nothing but the other one.
I would too. Hashtag loser.
Yes.
Tomorrow brings another pain, another strain. I can't
Talking
bear.
about people getting caught out there.
Imagine.
Feels like it's never gonna stop us.
I don't like this tobacco. We're not doing this.
The suicide of a teenage girl in British Columbia is drawing attention tonight to the issue of bullying. Before she died, she chronicled online what she'd endured. Now, as Duncan McHugh reports, much of the response is also appearing online.
Bullying and suicide has been a great issue on today's world. But what would happen if we would have stopped what's happening and became friends
Were we supposed to be
with the
muted?
person being bullied? Maybe the results would have been different. Let's watch this video again, but this time, let's stop this and see what happens.
Oh, that girl. She thinks she's all that.
I've heard some stuff all around. I mean, just look at her.
Doesn't she know nobody wants her here?
Her own mother wants her.
She should just stay home or die with her.
Even her boyfriend nothing but the other one.
I would too. Hashtag loser.
Little hearts hide shadows from the pain that's inside.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. Don't worry about them, they're nobodies anyway.
Yeah, girl. They only say stupid things because they have nothing better else to do with themselves.
Yes, girl, that is true.
Yeah, I know, I just hate it when they say stuff like that, especially when it's not true.
So what? They're only words.
Well, it's just that, never mind. You guys will never understand.
It's okay, we're friends now, so let's get out of here and talk about it.
I don't know.
Come on, it'll be okay. We can go and talk about it.
Yes, girl, remember you are not alone.
Well, I don't know. I don't see how it works, but I'll go.
Feels like it's never gonna stop. Push you hard, not too far. You can run, but you can't hide. I hope tomorrow be the day. Stay strong and move on. We'll run and I won't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. He's got me. He's guilty.
Hey everybody, I'm Lil D.
I am Javier Luis.
I'm Alex Polanco.
I'm Apollonia Cruz.
And I'm Kelly Caboose.
I am Shirley Phillips.
I am Emmanuel Anzule. Do you know 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence
During their lifetime.
And domestic violence and abuse can happen to anyone,
regardless of gender, race, or other factors?
2 out of 3 homicide cases are
Females who were killed by a family member or intimate partner.
as domestic violence victims. They face high rates of depression,
Sleep disturbances,
anxiety,
flashbacks, and other emotional distresses.
And without help, witnesses of domestic violence are more vulnerable to become abusers themselves.
thus continuing the cycle of violence in the next generation.
Hello, I'm Charles Aloma. Join the LDM network and Safe Horizon and take a step into changing these facts. So if you are or know someone that is being abused, please call the City Domestic Hotline at 1-800-621-4673. So that is 1-800-621-HOPE.
Speak up.
Speak out.
And make a difference.
And just know that you don't have to deal with this alone. There is help.
Yeah, we're here. Oh. You can see me now? All right. We are back. We're back. Thank you so much for returning. If you were with us in the first half, if you're just joining us, we are doing our domestic violence show, and we're so excited about the guests that we have today. Or at least I'm excited. I don't know about Emmanuel, but I'm excited to have
I'm excited. Are you
excited to have my boo on my show? No, I'm just
That's
kidding.
my boo too.
I know you can borrow her, but she's my boo. But we have Miss Katrina Calhoun of Sisters Against Domestic Abuse, Sida's House, whatever you want to call it. She's in the house, and I hope that there is a round of applause because I can't hear a damn thing on this end. But can you hear? Right, thank you. Can you hear us? Okay. I can't hear you though.
You can't hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. We can hear you. Yep.
What's going on, Boo? How's life in the D?
I don't know. I kind of stay in my zone in-house. I don't
introvert.
I don't do too much.
Introvert.
Very introvert.
I just came up with a new word, introvergo. That's what we're gonna call you.
Introvergo. I like it.
A Virgo, you guys, as I mentioned earlier. I'm very intrigued by the Virgo persona because it's like they can go out and turn up and be the life of the party, but on the inside, they don't want to be bothered. They don't really like humans that much. And only their close friends know that. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. We got to stay on track, Emmanuel. But we're here today to talk to you about, of course, Sida's House. And what you have going on for not only the month of October, but what you do year round for victims of domestic violence and most importantly, I think survivors of domestic violence. So if you could just tell us a little bit about Sida's House, why you started it and how it's been going so far.
Okay. Well, you're one of the founding founders. So I appreciate you guys. I did shout you out when I was on my podcast, I think last week. But I started Sida's House back in 2006.
No,
2003
or 2000. Was it 2000?
Well, that's the year Michelle passed. I think we started to work that year. We started working on everything that year, but we officially became Sida's House and recognized by the state of Michigan with our 501c3 in February of 2006. I started Sida's House, Sisters Against Domestic Abuse, because my sister was murdered by her husband May 20th of 2003. She had 3 children, and he was abusive throughout their marriage, constantly berating her, making her feel like she wasn't worthy. He talked about her weight. He talked about everything. He even went to her job numerous times and she was the breadwinner. He didn't work, he couldn't hold a job like you can hold piss. So I'm sorry, can I say
yes,
that?
You can.
Of course.
You can say whatever you need to say. That's the beauty of this. We're urban boom. Say whatever you need to say.
So, she really was a good person. She was an angel. She really was. And he robbed her of everything, her life, her children's future. And my mom and myself, we became their co-guardian and supported them throughout their journey. The last one graduated in June of 2019. So we got all of them graduated, and we're excited about that. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I did lose my mom almost 2 months ago. And she was just very instrumental in everybody's life. Yes. And she herself was a survivor of domestic violence as well. So I have a story that sometimes I don't even believe my story,
It's like a lifetime, literally like a movie.
Yeah. In and out of shelters growing up. I've never seen myself as a child. I think maybe when I was 2, I think that's the only picture that I've ever seen because we moved so much here, there, shelters, moving away from my dad because he was very abusive, not just verbally, but he was physically abusive. But he only abused my mom when he drank. Mm-hmm. But that's no excuse for abuse. I did not like my daddy. I had to grow in love with my daddy all over again. Because when the door used to turn, I used to be like, "Oh, here he come," because I knew once he got that liquor in him, it was showtime. And
and you guys were seeing this when you were just seeing the actual abuse take place, or were you just hearing it like in another room?
No, I actually seen it. One time I seen my mom. It's so vivid. He kicked her off the porch, and she curled up like a snail, and he was just kicking her and kicking her. And my brother yelled out the window. My oldest brother yelled out the window and was like, "Daddy, stop!" And he looked up at us, and he was like, "Get out the window!" Like we shouldn't be watching our mom or whatever. But like I said, he only did that when he did drink. But still, it's no excuse for it, and we had to live and endure all of that abuse.
And then you're seeing, so the next day after everybody sobered up, what were the conversations, or did you guys just act like nothing had happened, like you just went on business as usual, or would he apologize, or would he be like even the least bit remorseful at all the next day?
No, it was just like waking up, like we had cookies and ice cream last night and went to bed, and there was no fighting. We just woke up and we just acted everything was the same. The only time he did apologize, and the first time I saw my father cry, was when we viewed my sister's body in the morgue. And he said, "I apologize." He said, "For what I put y'all through." He said, "I feel like I'm responsible for her being there in the morgue."
How do you, do you feel that? Do you, because we can be honest, I mean, both of your parents unfortunately have passed away. They're not gone in spirit, of course, as I keep telling you to try to help you cope with it. They're still here in spirit, but they're gone. But in all honesty, do you feel that had Michelle not witnessed that and felt like she maybe needed to stay, do you think that had she not witnessed that, that may have saved her life?
I do believe it plays a big part because just it's called generational curse. And maybe she thought that he would stop eventually, like my daddy did stop. And she kept giving him chance after chance. But we all know it takes a victim 7 times. That's, in order for them to really make the decision to leave. So, yeah, I think that played a big part. I really do.
I always wondered that. After you told me everything, and mind you, Emmanuel, when we were in high school, we were in a couple classes together. Like I know we were in Latin class together, and I think we were in some other class. I can't remember.
Not Latin. Oh my God.
Lally.
Girl, they don't teach that no more.
They don't. They really don't. But
it's really close to mirrors English.
Yes. But I had no idea, one, that she lived around the corner from me until like years later, because my mom was her customer when you were working at the bank. So my mom became friends with her before I did. But I just remember she would be in class and she just always looked so mean and just reserved. And she never said anything to anybody, but she just looked really mean. So I had no idea that this child was going through all of this at home. Did anybody know in school? Like the counselors or anybody?
No, because that was the law. You're not supposed to talk about your business in the household. We were raised like that. Whatever goes on in our household stayed in our household.
Period.
So
that's a lot of communities of color, like Black, brown, right? Families always teach you that. You're not supposed to like share or air your dirty laundry with other people.
Is it like that in Hispanic households too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why like a lot of these cases go unreported, right? Because your parents, it's almost like they threaten you first and foremost, right? They like tell you you're not supposed to talk about what happens in the house with anyone, especially not somebody that works in the school. Because that, it becomes a thing. So you hear that once, twice, and then you know that you're not supposed to do it, and you kind of just follow through with that.
Yeah, because even when my brother spoke at my one of my book signings, he said that he always felt like it was just happening in our household. But we all know statistically, it's in every 1 out of every 3 household, where it used to be when we first started Silas House, it was 1 out of every 4. So now increase 1 out.
And then the different levels of it now that people are aware that domestic violence is not just hitting. It's words, it's financial abuse, it's emotional abuse. And that's what I wanted to ask you too. Even with platonic relationships, people that you are close to, that are abusing you. Does that count as domestic violence? If I have a best friend, if I'm 14 and my best friend is constantly berating me, or my sister or my brother, is that still considered domestic abuse?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Any type of domestic relationship that you're in and you feel like slighted, or you feel like this person is not letting you be who you are and they're talking down at you, they're making you feel like you're that lack of, oh yeah, for sure. Even relationships, that's why I have my circle is small. You know, I can't fool with everybody because one, I ain't got that temperament for that. Because I do.
That's the part we left out. That's the part we left out, Emmanuel. Trina fought a lot. And she used to. She's changed now. Okay. Holy Ghost.
Listen, I hung out with Trina one time and I knew she was about that life. I was like, okay,
we can't
Trina.
take her nowhere. Trina fight too much. She used to be ready.
Listen, I'm down too. I'm down, Trina. So if you ever got to pop off in New York, honey, I am right there beside you.
Emmanuel fights everybody. He was about to fight this old white lady. We went out somewhere. Over what is a chair, right?
Yeah. She acted like she built it, like she had proprietorship over that freaking chair. I was like, girl, bye. Your husband, where is he? Right.
I think that's when I fell in love with Emmanuel, because he was ready to fight. He had his fur on, honey, and his sunglasses. And he like snatched the chair from the lady. She like almost fell. I'm like, yo, Emmanuel, this is not about.
And man, like anybody can get it.
Anybody can get the smoke.
For real.
Get it.
Yep.
Yep. Charles, I'm not gonna be able to do this interview.
We talk about domestic violence. Now we talk about the white lady, the old white lady. What's happening?
She's fighting senior citizens. But anyways, now see, you know, made me forget my question. I can't.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Talk to us, because we don't want to run out of time before we talk about everything that she has going on for the month of October. So first and foremost, I want you to quickly tell us about the event that you have coming up next Saturday, right?
This Saturday, upcoming Saturday, October 23rd at 12 p.m. Cass Park, right down from CT. Fired up. Our third annual domestic violence walk. These are the t-shirts that we will be wearing. Team Michelle, walk a mile in her shoes, and it's actually a mile. And the thing about it is that we have just like a cluster of people, but you have so many people for Breast Cancer Awareness Month that's doing their walks.
Yes.
And even why I kind of like just had to sit back and say and reflect, like, what's going on? You know, so many people are affected by domestic violence, women and children, even men.
Even men.
Keep that out, because what I found out is that same-sex community now, they're leading statistics with the highest volume of
really
cases. Yes.
Did you know that, Emmanuel? I didn't know that.
I know that there's definitely in the last, I would say, like maybe 10 years, there's been a lot more cases of same-sex couples reporting it and understanding it, because I think that was the first step, like knowing what that was,
what it looks
and
like,
then being able to what it looks like, because a lot of people, like we said before, right, like they think it's like hitting, but it's deeper than that. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
And wow, now I have to research that. I did not know that. I'm wondering why though. Why do you think that is?
Well, more people are becoming who they are. They're stepping out and they're saying, this is who I am, and they're getting in their relationships, but a lot of them are not healthy relationships. So just like any heterosexual relationship, you know, we're all people, you know, and we love on one another, but it's the individual, and you have to get to know that person, you know, get to know what they like, you know, their love language. And if you see red flags, don't ignore them, you know, because this person is showing you who they are. Believe them the first time. My auntie said that.
You sure did.
So you got to be careful about even the people that you talk to, you know, even your friends. You got to be careful about what you say to them, because, you know, they're the ones that's talking to you and smiling in your face, and they got that knife behind the back. You know, they're the first people who will stab you, even family, you know, everybody, you know, at this point in life.
At this point. And people have so many hangups and insecurities that they reflect onto you. Like, I don't have anything to do with the fact that you don't like yourself or you don't like the way that you look. So why are you taking that out on me?
Exactly. But even in relationships, men are very jealous of women and the women that they're in relationships with. And we don't like to admit that. Men don't like to admit that.
Yeah.
So with the whole pandemic going on, there has been a true increase in domestic violence cases throughout the country because of isolation. That's one. We already know that once you become involved with an intimate partner, isolation is the big form. They all to their self. And we were talking earlier when I was listening to you guys are talking about emotional and verbal abuse. That's the worst form of domestic violence. A scar can heal. When someone tell you, and as educators as we all are, we know that our students like extrinsic and we know that they like intrinsic motivators, right? So if you're constantly telling me that I'm nothing, I ain't this, that, and the yada, we internalize that. Those are things that we don't forget. That scar is going to heal.
It's going to heal.
But we remember what somebody tell us. We remember,
especially if you already have those insecurities and you make the mistake of telling that person your insecurities. That's why I say be very careful with what you reveal to people, because the minute they get the opportunity to use it against you, they will. And men are like sponges. They listen and they take everything in and they put it in their repertoire to use against you later. How do I know? It happened to me. Yeah. So even to this day, I'm still struggling with some of the things. She was there, that she was ready to fight my ex-fiance, by the way. After he was crazy. Because it had become so normal for us to curse each other. And he never hit me, but we cursed each other out all the time. He would say things to hurt me. I said things to hurt him, but it was getting more and more aggressive to the point where I did not feel safe anymore. Because I already knew that next you're going to be punching me in my face. Yeah. Because he had never called me the B word. Up until maybe a few days before she got there. But the fact that she was there, now she's got support, got help. So that made him even more, you know what I mean?
Angrier, right?
Made him angrier. But the things that he would say, and then I'm going to let her address her books really quickly, because we definitely have to talk about that. He knew that I had issues with weight, that I had been trying to lose weight. And, you know, I never felt ugly, but I always felt very insecure about the fact that I could not lose this weight and I didn't feel like I was my best self. And I had confided in him by him being a personal trainer, you know, and he came to me under the guise of, well, let me help you lose weight. I got you. Let me do this. But the minute that he knew that I was going to leave him, you're fat, you're ugly, nobody's ever going to want you, this and that. Nobody cares how smart you are. It was awful. And so she witnessed it. Like, she's not gonna be too many more, you know what, while I'm standing here. So she was literally ready.
And he had the nerve to do it in front of Trina.
That's how I knew he had lost his damn mind, because he'd never done it in public before, in front of anyone.
Because usually, right, I feel like a lot of this abuse takes place in private, right? And these abusers don't show their ass publicly, or at least to people that their victim is close to.
No.
So he lost his damn mind.
They don't.
Trina, what was that experience like for you, like seeing that?
Well, I
especially as somebody that has experience, right, with domestic violence.
Yeah, so I tried to give them their privacy, because we started off just as a normal conversation. So I removed myself from it and I went and sat in the kitchen. And then as the conversation started to escalate, I called Brenda Mae and I said, Mom, I said, if you don't hear back from me in 10 minutes, I said, because this is the last itch I'm about to hear him.
Yeah.
And his voice started escalating. So I went into protective mode, you know, for my best friend. I'm not about to let him talk to her any kind of way. And I'm dang gonna sure not gonna let her hit her in front of me. You know, it's about to go down. So when I went in there, I got in his face. And I'm like, dude, you know, what's going on? Why don't you just leave? You know, she's not gonna keep on being all these itches. You know, I'm trying to stay out of y'all situation. And he was like, Trina, what you gonna do? I said, now you already know. Stop. He said, you've been knowing me since, you know, you met her, because I actually flew in to meet him, and she had to go to school, and she let him. What would you let him tell him to take me shopping and say while you were gone?
So it was a positive relationship prior to that day.
Yeah, and so we knew each other, and he would call me, and then when we stopped all of that, you know, like this not what this is about. We're not about to do this today. Not in front of me. We're not gonna do this.
And I knew that I was planning to leave. I knew that the relationship had been taking a downward spiral, but I did not want to worry her, especially knowing what she's already dealt with her sister. So now why would I want to have her worried about me and all the way in New York? She can't, you know what I mean? She's in Michigan. I didn't really tell anybody, but it got to the point where it was just like, I can't stay here. You're not leaving. So I know I got to get the hell out of here, because you will not leave. I've asked you to leave nicely. But in any event, that's a whole nother show. But
Wow.
please talk to us about the book series that you have, because that's like one of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Is necessary. Tell them about the book series and how you intended for the book series to be used.
Okay. I wrote Maya's Journey back in 2005 is when I first published the first book. And Maya is my journey because it commences and I can vicariously live through Maya. So that's why I named the book Maya. And that's the name of the book is Daddy, Why Do You Hurt Mommy? Because it commences a journey. That's the first thing as children we want to know, like, Daddy, you said you love my mama. So why are you hurting my mama? Two people that we first meet in our life is our mama and our daddy. Our daddy teaches how to, a man's supposed to treat us. A mom teaches how to be little ladies. So when I saw my daddy hitting my mom and abusing her, even in that first book, I wrote that I used to go in the closet and I always imagined myself flying. But as later on as an adult, when I was in counseling, she told me that it was my coping mechanism, just wanting to get away, from all of the arguing and all the fighting. It was just my way of wanting to isolate myself from the situation. So I had a big imagination, and I was an avid reader. Like I got lost in books because that was my go-to to get away from my real life situation. So I wrote the books, and what I wanted to show was the roller coaster ride, the emotional roller coaster ride that children go through that witness domestic violence. Statistics states that 90% of children who state that they have witnessed their mother being abused by their father or by her domestic partner. So that's a high number. I mean, you talking about
a lot.
That's like almost everybody's witnessing this. So what do we do with those children when we come to school? What's the trauma? That's the big backpack. I was that kid. A teacher couldn't identify that. She's quiet. She's always reading. Or what's my triggers? If somebody call me out my name or if somebody say something, I'm ready to fight. So I had to later on say, you know what? Because I used to be something else, like popping off all the time, wanting to fight, argue, cussing out people. But what I realized was that was trauma. That was what I learned, and that was how I felt like I could handle a situation until I matured and said, that's not the way you handle everything. Popping off, cussing out people. It's just a trigger for me. I would say this. What I've witnessed being witnessing my parents fighting is when people holler, like when you and Kenya were arguing, I have anxiety now from the trauma that I experienced.
Voices escalate.
Yeah, when I hear like people arguing, it really makes me really anxious, really nervous. So that's why I'm always fighting. I don't want to argue. I want to fight you. I don't want to talk about it. It's gonna fight.
Fight. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And I'm wondering, just in what you just said, how your brothers felt. Like if they felt any type of guilt, like, you know what, we should have protected our mom, or did they experience the opposite? Like maybe because they didn't want to become domestic abusers, did they maybe accept more abuse than they should have taken in relationships? Or how? Like, I just want to know the long-term effects on the boys. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they absolutely despise a man hitting a woman.
Yeah.
So I think they take more from women than what they should.
They should, yeah.
But one of the things about domestic violence, being a witness as a child, is that you can later on become one or two. You can be the abuser or you can be abused. And that's what happened to my sister. So you bedwetting, different triggers is like lashing out, anxiety, just being able to have a normal relationship with people because your trust is very low. I have a very hard time trusting people.
And you don't give a lot of chances. Like you got one time. Like one time. Like I tend to give people a lot of chances. You got one time.
Yeah, I'm not that forgiving. No, I'm not.
That's also, I feel like that's a defense mechanism, right?
Yeah.
You see the potential that a relationship could have to go in the direction of being violent, and you're protecting yourself. You put up your wall.
Protecting yourself.
I cut you off like a light switch, and I probably don't cut it back on. Most times I don't.
No, for me, it takes a while to bring people into my intimate circle. Once you're in my circle, I feel like I give people more chances than they need to. But if you're just an acquaintance or an associate and I feel like you're on some BS, I don't have a problem just like, bye, I can't. And then I'm done with it. But like Emmanuel, if you ever did something to me, if we ever got into it, I would not just write you off without, you know what I'm saying, hearing your side and giving you a second chance. But somebody that I just met or that don't, bye. So in that sense, I can be a little cold. But I think the important part of Michelle's story that we don't often talk about is like the last conversations that we had with her.
Yeah.
She was in such a happy place. You know, she's like, look, I'm losing weight now. I'm finally about to leave this Negro. And she had a glow about her. Yeah. And we all like had dinner. That was the last time I saw her. And she was just, you know, so excited about leaving him and moving on with her life.
Yep, it was a Sunday. We all were out eating. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember I was at work, got a phone. I can't remember if it was you or Sonia that called me, and then they told me what happened. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. Like how, you know what I mean? That's the part that I think is so tragic in all of this, is that she had realized that she needed to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, but that's the most dangerous part and point in a some survivor or victim life is when you decide to leave, because domestic violence is nothing but power and control. So once the abuser loses power and control, they're a walking time bomb, and they want their material back, because once you become an abuser and you hit people, you don't love me as a human being, because I'm no longer a human being. I am a piece of property. And that's why I'm so expendable to you. That's why you can kill me and hurt me, put me in a trash can like I'm trash, because you don't value me as a person, as an individual. I'm your piece of property, your ownership. You know, you don't own me. And that's what I think a lot of people miss that part about domestic violence. That's not love. That's possession, control.
Do you think that they're conscious of it? They're conscious of the fact that they don't really love this person and this person is just my property, or is that just innate in their personality and how they, you know, how they deal with relationships?
I just really think most of them are narcissists and they have mental problems. You know,
here we go.
We can't get away from narcissistic personality disorders everywhere.
My God. Yes, I feel like every time we talk about one of these problems, right? One of these problems is always rooted in some sort of narcissism.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I like started to question myself. Like, am I a narcissist? Because I'm an only child, so I know that only child syndrome is a real thing. I know that I do help people. I give probably way too much to people than I should. But I've been questioning, like hearing these conversations, like, wait a minute, am I narcissistic? Because I do feel like sometimes I am a little more self-centered than I need to be. But it's a very thin line, I think, between someone that just values themselves and, you know, and has high self-esteem, and someone that's actually got a disorder to the point where they are a narcissist. I don't feel like I am, but I
don't think you are either. I think we all have narcissistic tendencies, because I have some of those, right? But I think that the people that we're talking about here are the ones that are officially like narcissistic personality disorder. Like this, they have the inability to empathize.
They can't empathize,
right? No, like you see it in their eyes. We always talk about that, Shirley. Like they have a look
crazy,
like when you and now you can see it through the mask. It's crazy, because I could look at somebody and I could be like, oh my God, this person looks a little suspect, right? And I immediately know.
Sociopaths, they definitely are. I believe most abusers that go ahead and kill their victim, they're sociopaths, because they feel like they've done nothing wrong. Because why did this person leave me?
He deserved it.
Left me, and they're okay with the next day. You know, they move on with their life, and this person is ruined. Either a family or the person who's been abused is just ruined, because now I got to pick up and rebuild myself and I got to rebuild myself. I got to pour into all this positive stuff that this Negro or this whoever then took from me. That's a lot of work as just an individual, as a person.
It's a lot. And I feel that a lot of it, at least from the male side of it, a lot of it has to do with men not being very resilient and being able to just accept no. if she doesn't want you or she's made the decision that she wants to leave, we need to work with our boys on how to just accept that and move on. You can be hurt and, you know, and have your feelings about it, but that retaliation, I got to get her back, or I got to, that's the issue that I feel a lot of young men have, is just that ego. She doesn't want me anymore.
And that's hard. I think we were talking about that, about teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, what do you say to them, you know, when even in my mentoring program, Sister to Sister, one thing I told them is how to love themselves, you know, not just how to eat to the left, drink to the right, but how to be little ladies. And what do you want? You know, you are a magnet for what you represent. So if you represent you and you're worthy, that's what you would attract, you know? So that pulling the hair, giving him your pen to your phone, that's not cute. Texting you every minute, telling you he don't like what you have on, who you can be with, and that's the beginning, that's the onset of it. So if like we all are in schools, if somebody came to me and said, you know, Miss C, that's what they call me because they say I got too many last names. Miss C, if such and such is doing this, you have to go to a trusted individual. Even as us, as adults, we need to find a trusted individual to go to, some person, you know, that we know that's going to run their mouth, going to keep it between the two of us, and take it from there. Because I see little girls all the time getting their hair put, you know, him taking her cell phone, you know, why you liking his stuff? That now you got to start listening to people, you know. And that's, you remember when we first started Silas House, we started what was that called? Having the conversation.
Yeah,
you got to have that conversation.
You have to. And I usually do it, and I know you do it with Sister to Sister, but I do it with the girls group. Like the first few sessions is like valuing yourself and learning when something just no longer feels good anymore. When you don't feel safe, it doesn't feel positive. Those are usually the red flags.
Right.
So real quick, if you could give someone who might feel that they're in a domestic violence situation or an abusive situation, what are some of the red flags that you would say they should look out for?
Isolation, keeping you from family and friends, watching everything that you do, want to have that tracker on your phone, calling you out your name, shaming you in front of your friends, talking about you, just not treating you like you're supposed to be treated. We know how we want to be treated. And if you feel slighted about anything, it's not the person for you. We out of that phase of settling. We know we're too old for that.
We're too old.
For that. But even our young ladies and our young men, they need to know who they are and whose they are moving forward.
And whose they are. I think that I like that, whose they are. A lot of us, at least in New York, they don't have any type of spiritual or religious foundation at all. They're just out here freestyling. They don't believe or they don't know what they believe. And I think that has a lot to do with it, because now you're looking for humans to give you validation and to tell you that, yes, you're doing good. And yes, I love you, when that, in my opinion, should come from God or whatever, you know, your religious faith is. They don't have that. We were talking about like creationism versus what do you call it? Big Bang Theory. Many kids had never heard the story of Adam and Eve.
Wow.
Noah's
Ark.
Ark.
They don't know it.
Have you found that too, Manuel?
Yeah, they don't know any of that, because I don't teach that specifically, but when I teach history, so when I'm starting to talk about like humans, where they originated from, the different theories that are out there, I also always find that there are kids that have no idea what I'm talking about.
Nothing.
There's no context for them.
Never been to Bible study, never been inside of a church, a synagogue, nothing. And that is so scary to me. You're 14 years old and you've never been inside any church. You don't know any Bible stories. And I think that that's probably one of the major factors, is they don't know who they are and whose they are, like you said.
No foundation. You can't build a castle on sand.
That's your favorite saying.
Oh, I know, right?
You should get that like on a t-shirt, like copyright that.
What? It's true though. It really is. You can't.
No, it is.
Even in any relationship that you're in. I mean, you can't build a castle on sand. If it's shaky waters and you don't feel, you know, safe in this, or you don't feel like you're worthy, or you don't feel like this person is spending enough time with you, why are you staying in it?
Why do people stay? What do you think the reason is?
Financial reasons. They feel like they cannot leave because of children. They don't have anywhere else to go. You know, most of the time they've already isolated them from their family and friends, so they don't want to fool with them. So now they're shut out from the world. So
Now they're
stay.
shut out. I think too, like once we start getting up in age, what you say, Charles? Was that? Oh, we're almost done. Oh, all right. So
wait, why do I feel like this just went by so fast?
Because we talk a lot. We're chatty patties. That's why. Tell them where they can purchase the books and how they can contribute to the walk if they are not in the Detroit area.
They can go to our website, Sada's House.
God bless my haters. God bless fake hoes. God bless these haters. Cause God only knows that all I do is get it. 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 So God bless your snake niggas. God bless your snake hoes. God bless your fake players. Cause God only knows that all I do is get it. All I do is make it mine. All I do is get it crackin', get it poppin' every time, nigga. All I do is get it. All I do is live it. All I do is spend it for the days that daddy didn't. So God bless these haters. God bless these hoes. God bless these fake friends that turn out to be foes. Telling me God is my maker. And God bless this paper. So God bless me, I chase ya until I meet my maker. All I do is get it. 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 I used to wish I was a star in my past life. Cause dreams are all that keep you warm on them cold nights. I used to hide behind my walls and watch my parents fight. Watch daddy break a jaw, cause then it wasn't right. So please forgive me if I live my life. I'm never worried about being some niggas fucking wife. I want it all, whatever the fucking price. So bad it all, I'm willing to roll.
Alright, so
all I do is get it. All I do is get it.
While we're waiting, the website for our organization is www.sadashouse.org. sadashouse.org. And there you can get all the information on the event. You can get the information on how to support just her year-long efforts with victims of domestic violence. Outside from the walk that they're having next week, I know that they do a very big like Christmas drive for families. I can't remember if she chooses one family or if they help multiple families, but you can find all of that on the website. And the books I know are on Amazon, but she might have a web page. Let me text her now. She might have a page specifically for the book. I'm not sure. Give me 1 second.